For the first time in history, a BMW M-Wagon is available for us Americans to buy, and I'm beyond pumped to give you my review of the 2025 BMW M5 Touring. And in the 10 years that I've been doing car reviews, I think I can finally make this claim. This is the ultimate car for the car enthusiast. And I don't make that claim very lightly because there's a lot of great cars out there, but a car that can do a lot of things really well, a true jack of all trades, is rare. This M5 Touring is like the better version of all the cars that we've loved. This is the Hellcat that can actually handle. This is a Nissan GTR that's not going to break your spine and rattle your skull. This is a hybrid that won't bore you to death. And for you utilitarian car and wagon nerds out there, this is your Superwagon.
What about me?
What about you?
And all it took was for BMW to slap on their 4.4-liter turboed V8, add in their plug-in hybrid system, all-wheel drive, use up Thailand's supply of rubber for its tires, and charge you $140,000. Is it worth the price? Yeah, folks, it's time to sell your house, abandon your family, and move into this one-bedroom, zero-bath living space. It is a wagon with 58 cubic feet of space with a back row folded down. That's enough for you, your dog, and your belongings, which you won't have much of anyway because you had to sell them to keep this thing running. This has 10 more horsepower than a standard Hellcat, rest in peace, and since it comes standard with BMW's all-wheel drive system and a whole lot of rubber, 285s in the front and 295s in the back, unlike a Hellcat, you can apply both steering and throttle at the same time and you won't die. But since these all-wheel drives are rear biased, you can set this to two-wheel drive mode for your burnout pleasure. But with all four wheels torquing the ground, there's so much grip in this car, and that's very much needed as this is one heavy sucker, around 5,500 pounds. Now, to give you some context, an Infiniti QX80, that's a full-size three-row SUV, is 6,000 pounds. A Lexus GX is 5,700 pounds. And then a Ford Expedition is around 5,500 pounds. So this is what I consider a pretty heavy car. But there's so much power behind this M5 Touring, and there's so much grip, the car actually feels light. It feels light on its feet. And when you set the car to the stiffest suspension setting and reduce the power steering assist, taking this car on back roads, the car just feels glued to the road. The amount of body roll is minimal, and the steering feedback is so friggin' good that you feel attuned to this machine. Now, some cars just give you so much road confidence when you're behind the wheel. A C8 Corvette, a Miata, or a GR86 or BRZ, and most Porsches. You feel so connected to them that they become an extension of your body. This M5 Touring is just like that. This car feels so confident and so athletic that it makes you feel like an athlete, like you're superhuman. And it wouldn't be such a great car without the thing in the engine bay. A 4.4-liter turboed V8, and because it's 2025, electrification is what all the kids are doing these days, so this has a hybrid system as well. And it's a plug-in hybrid with an 18.6 kilowatt hour battery. That's a much smaller capacity than your normal EV, but pretty typical of plug-in hybrids, so that's enough for a 25-mile range on an optimal day. That's not as much as other plug-in hybrids, but it's okay. Leave this car alone in electric mode and you get a very sedate, very environmentally conscious driving experience. The electric motor alone generates 194 horsepower and 204 pound-feet of torque. And by itself, it's a pretty standard driving experience, equivalent to an entry-level BMW. But if you choose hybrid mode and choose to let the 4.4-liter boosted V8 sing, you get a monstrous combined net 717 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. This gets you a 0 to 60 time of around 3.5 seconds. The acceleration is neck-snapping if you're not ready for it. The upshifts are brutal but crisp, and you get an orchestral listening experience that's unique to V8s. Now, it may not be as bombastic sounding as some V8s out there, which is a very quick exhaust mod fix away, but it's still the same sound signature that makes you feel like the king of the road. And it has the thirst of a boosted V8 because the engine alone gets you 13 miles to the gallon, which means that even though this is a plug-in hybrid, you still have to pay a gas guzzler tax, and for this one, it's $2,600. Think about that, plug-in hybrid and gas guzzler tax. Yes, there are faster EVs out there that can be had for less money. A $70,000 641 horsepower Ioniq 5N can do it in less time. A 10,000 pound 1,000 horsepower $120,000 Hummer EV pickup can also beat this thing. But why buy an EV when you can buy this literally green car? This one is the Isle of Man green metallic, and in my opinion, this is the perfect color for the M5 Touring. There's also the frozen deep gray matte color if you're a masochist and want to stress out even more about your car's paintwork. And if you look beyond the staggered 20 and 21-inch wheels, lie some gold calipers squeezing onto the carbon ceramic brakes. And you'll get these when you opt for the $8,500 M carbon ceramic brakes, which gets you 16.5-inch carbon ceramic floating rotors up front with the 6-pot calipers and 15.7-inch rotors at the rear. They do work, as I'm still alive to edit and publish this video review. The front end of this M5 Touring is very classy. It's sporty, but grown up. The traditional kidney grille is there, but it's broken up by the driving assistance sensors. The lower fascia is more function over form. This has such a big gaping maw for all of the air that it needs to suck in, and all of the air it needs to blow by the heat exchangers. The front here looks like a snow shovel ready to take in everything. Air, leaves, rocks, plastic bag, you name it. From the side, the M5 Touring does what a wagon does best, and that's to look like a sleeper. That is, if you ignore those giant wheels and brakes. The driver's side has the charging door on it, and you can see that this only has the J1772 plug interface, which means that this is really only for a level 1 or level 2 charging, topping out at 11 kilowatts. So at that rate, 0 to 100% state of charge takes about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And at the rear, that sleeper look fizzles away with the spoiler, the quad exhaust, the black split diffuser design, and the often misappropriated M badge, and I can't think of a more proper car to wear that M5 badge. You are worthy. Is it a good looking car? I personally love the look, but I'm curious about what you think. Inside, the BMW M5 Touring is pretty busy, and that's warranted because there's a lot going on in this car. First, we have the dual screen on a single curved panel setup. A lot of car companies are going in this style direction. The digital driver display looks crisp, and you can even have augmented reality content so that if you have GPS, it'll overlay the instructions on that screen. And these screens are large, which is great for all of the different driving settings you have on your fingertips. You can adjust the drivetrain, energy recovery, drive logic, chassis, steering, brake, MX drive setting, M sound. Thankfully, you can key these different settings to 2 specific driving modes, M1 and M2, and that corresponds to the M1 and M2 buttons on the steering wheel. And I just love the steering wheel, from the leather, the stitching, the large paddle shifters, the flat bottom, and also the red 12 o'clock indicator. The paddle shifter shows boost on the left-hand side here, and hold that down for a bit, and the car temporarily creates the optimal conditions and settings for your passing needs, regardless of what mode you're in. The center console has a red start-stop engine button with a very small gear shifter right behind it, and then the iDrive dial is still here, as well as the volume dial and some of the other shortcut buttons. This is more or less the same interior experience as the BMW M2. It's as futuristic, but a bit more space and much more orange. This is the Kyalami orange and black merino leather, and with the carbon fiber interior. It is such a great, classy color combination with the Isle of Man green. The seats are fantastic, but they aren't as aggressive as the M2's carbon bucket seats, which you may have to be a gymnast to get in and out of. But these M5 Touring seats are still very supportive for those highly enjoyable back roads and won't make you fall out of them as you step out of the car. The M2's very expensive and optional seats are there to ridicule your bad back in old age, whereas this M5 is more about respecting your well-seasoned figure. The back seat is also very comfortable with 2 climate zones back here, 4 total inside the car. There's 37 inches of rear legroom and 37.7 inches of rear headroom. I'm 5'8" and there's plenty of space in here for me. Then again, I fit in most cars anyway. There's also a lot of comfort. There's heated and ventilated seating. And check out the amount of vents on the center console and also on the B-pillar. And the view is pretty fantastic with this panoramic glass roof. And lastly, there's also a set of these peasant shades which will block out the people out there who couldn't afford $140,000 for a house. I mean a car. And then lastly, the cargo space. The thing that makes the wagon the perfect utility car before we lost our minds and bought crossovers. There's 16.5 cubic feet of space behind the back row. And I just love these quick release seats, which will reveal 58 cubic feet of space behind the front row. This is the perfect utilitarian car. It's actually the perfect car. I've had such a blast driving this thing. It is so powerful. It's so refined, and it has so many different personalities to this thing that you could sort of tweak it to make it your own. But the best part of the BMW M5 Touring is not what's in this car, but what it does to the car market, because it sets the US for a battle that we did not expect we were ever going to see. It sets up the battle for the luxury performance wagon, a Superwagon battle. The Audi RS6 also has a turboed V8, the Quattro system, and a hybrid system, albeit it's a mild hybrid setup. But overall, it is about 100 horsepower down compared to this M5 Touring. So, Audi, the ball is in your court. I want to thank you guys so much for watching all the way up to this point. My name is Hanson. If you want to see a review of the BMW M2, check out this link over here. But thank you so much for watching. This has been the 2025 BMW M5 Touring, and I'll see you in the next one.